Hi everybody and welcome back to Nellie and Ruth Designs. I thought I would share with you today a book that I have had for many years. I bought it at a library sale. I got it for, there we go, $6. And I purchased this knowing that I was going to be cutting it up and using it in some way. So I want to show you, I'm making more fodder with, every time I say fodder, I want to say modder. There was an old camp song, and they pronounced father as fodder. So when I say that, I just have to giggle. But these are some of the images that I've cut out and I've drawn around. I haven't done a lot yet because I wanted to include you. I just went and did some of these, and these have actually, some of these have ended up in my small or my tiny art journal. This one here, I particularly like this pattern where you draw around it because I don't know, it's a dark, gloomy day here today, so I don't know if you can really see, but there are sketches. So what this book, and I'm going to show you the book and we're going to do some work in it. But what this shows is where the artist pencil drew the flower and then supposedly watercolored this end in and hadn't gotten to that yet. That's why I've drawn around here. And that's the one thing that I like about this style. And then I have this really pretty flower here. And these I'm going to be using on my scrapbooking pages because they're nice and big. So I want to show you this book. And I will even use the front cover. I will cut some items out there. This, I am really excited to cut this. I don't know if this is a I think this is a trillium. It's not a lady slipper, but that's a trillium. And so I want to show you some of the images in here because they are very pretty. And I hope you can see because I have to have the camera up. So again, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by and taking a look. And if you hadn't seen the other video showing how I created fodder out of the Daphne Diaries magazines, Daphne's Diary magazines, I will put that in the link and I invite you to go back and take a look at that. But this book I find most interesting. Oh, and thank you for all my returning subscribers. I cannot forget you. You make up, I don't want to say you make up. I was going to say you make up, basically you make up my whole channel. Everybody that has subscribed and left wonderful, kind comments and have watched, I appreciate you greatly. So this book here, I just find most interesting because it also has some etched and scenes in here. And when I start to work, or when I do work in my scrapbooks, I want to take these and I want to use some of my old black and white photos, especially of my mom and dad. You know, maybe frame them in something like this and then add, so like I could frame them, this is just an example. Like I could frame them here. I could add a flower, you know, down around here, something like that. Once I get going, I'll get a feel for it. And this is going to be my winter project. I'm going to be doing a lot of scrapbooking this winter. I'm hoping to, starting in November, December, January, February, March, get a lot of things done. So here's another interesting drawing, sketch. That's obviously a house. But all through here, there's these little tiny flowers. And I just think they're adorable. However, when you have a book like this, you're going to have to choose. Do you want the blue here, or do you want this here? So I'm voting and going with the blue. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just take these, and I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut them out. And I want to make sure I give a good margin, so that way when I trace around, see, isn't that pretty? When I trace around them, I will definitely have plenty of room. I like this a lot as well. This one here. Because this could go right on the side of a page. I'm not going to do anything with that yet. I want to get some of these smaller. But again, this book here is Montrose Life in a Garden by Nancy Goodwin with illustrations by Ippy Patterson. And I will list this book in the description, and you may be able to get this at one of the book discount places online. There's so many of them. This I really like. I love using larger flowers. I have done it. I have shown you videos of using some large flowers where I did scrapbook my mom's photos of long ago. There's a little kitty. This one I think is really cool. And I guess the other reason I'm drawn to these is that the shape of them, because after I fussy cut them, I could actually put a photo right behind this and have this frame. That could frame the photo. As much as I like the flowers on the other side of this, they're crocus, and they're ever so pretty, because these crocus remind me. Now, actually, looking at this, I will do this first, and then I'll be able to flip this over. I will be able to use these crocus, because these are not in the way. I can see through the light. The one crocus is here, and the other is there. So that is going to work out just fine. I'm excited. I just ordered a new mat from Creative Memories. I think these are pretty here. So I'm just going to take some out, but I want to show you this book. So I'm just going to harvest some of these pictures, and then I will cut them out and show you. And I like this here, but I like this daffodil better. I have a thing for daffodils. And I guess that's what you just have to decide when you have a book like this. You just have to decide what you want to, what you want to use, what you're drawn to. This is a really pretty, I think these look like, yeah, this is a magnolia. So these are going to come out. And this is a wonderful project if you just want to do some mindless crafting. And you can turn your TV on and you can draw around these and cut and sip on your cup of tea or your coffee or whatever you want to do. So I will also find some smaller ones, but I just think these are such lovely photos. And there isn't a lot in this book. I'm going to leave this because I don't know which one I want there. Let me find some. Ooh, this is a must. So let me cut these out here. Hopefully I'm going right over. Maybe for this one, I'll go right down into the, because I don't want to ruin, any of those flowers there on this side. And as you can see, sometimes it is a little difficult to take out, but there we go. There are those. And let me just show you the rest of this book. We'll just do a quick little show and tell. And if I see some smaller ones. But aren't these wonderful? Especially if you're into junk journaling. Look at that trillium. That is so pretty. We have trillium in our yard. And trillium I used to find on the hiking trails all the time. And of course you can't pick trillium, thank goodness. And you can't dig them up and bring them back to your home, and you can't dig up and take lady slippers. So let's see, we'll just go through here. That's a Jack in the Pulpit. Look at this here. Isn't that cool? But then again, I like this here. I'm just like looking to see if there's any small ones. That magnolia is pretty. Some phlox. And again, we have this peony, and I love how they've drawn around it, but they've only colored the inside. So I just want to show you the rest of this book, and then I will go, isn't that pretty? So pretty. That's your lady slipper. We have pink lady slippers. I kept looking at that because I'm like, what is different? But that's I've never seen a yellow lady slipper. And these are wonderful if you have a gardening journal. I mean, you could even keep a 12 by 12 gardening journal. And these would be just lovely in it. And then you could also cut out a little bit of the bio on the flowers if you wanted to. And I just think it's a very unique, these pictures are just very, very unique. And I think they'd be beautiful in a scrapbook. Look at that, with family photos. And then you can really enjoy these pictures. I'm really getting into, you know, the small, tiny art books. And, you know, I'll get back to my scrapbooking because I have a tendency to pick those up and look at photos and the pages and the artwork around them. So I'm really enjoying some of these books. So we're almost done, but I just want to show in case you are interested in getting this book, so you can see the different flowers. There's animals in here as well. And this would be a lovely book if you're into altered books. You could actually make an altered art book with this one here and leave these in, and then you could collage or do whatever you want on the opposite page. This woman like her kitties. A lot of kitty cats in here. Some seed pods. Hellebore. I love the roots. I love root systems on plants. I'll have to show you some of my hiking pictures someday. The trees up in the Adirondacks, the root systems that grow on top of the ground. They're just phenomenal. These marigolds. I love that picture of a marigold. I'm not a marigold fan, but if you, I'm sure you all know this, but if you have a garden, vegetable garden, plant marigolds everywhere around in your garden because they do keep the bugs away. A lot of rodents. This looks like a little vole here or a mole. They don't like certain flowers. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if that's a dogwood. No, that's December. Juniper and hackberry. Snowdrops. Oh, these are snowdrop. Look, they look like snowdrop crocuses. I think that's what they are. And these are sweet. I'll be taking these here. And then we have this beautiful iris. I'll be taking that because I won't use that. So let's take this small iris and I'll show you what that looks like. And I'll trace around a couple of the small ones so you can see how I do it. It's really no big deal. And that's it. So, you know, there's not a lot in this book, but there is just enough where you want to, once you take them out. And here's the book again. All right. So make a note of it. So let me show you. I'm going to trace around this small one, and I'll trace around this one. And then I'll cut them out. And then we will come back and take a look at all of them. And when I do my tracing, I use a small, not that one. Why do I always pull that? That's white. I don't know why I have these. I use a small tipped pen. All right, so this is what I use. I use a Cricut. Because I have a Cricut machine, and I don't use these pens in my Cricut. But this is a 0.4 tip black, and it is fine. It's a thin tip. So I'm just going to show you really quick. When I just like when I cut paper, I trace around my images the same way I do when I cut. So I will come around, and I turn my paper. And then when you come up in and around, you just have to be cognizant of where you're going to have to cut. Whoops, sorry about that. Where you're going to have to cut in. But you can always use an X-Acto knife. To get into those small little areas. And I never go inside a flower, very rarely. I mean, I try not to, but I don't go inside. And when I say inside, I don't trace inside these little, oh my goodness, I keep going out. I'm so sorry. Let me adjust my camera. All right, I keep moving the paper towards me. And you're not seeing anything. I'm so sorry. I don't trace inside if there's any white. All right, let's do another one because obviously I have left you all out. So we're going to come up the stem, come up and around. And if you hit part of the flower, like that's kind of a narrow spot, you can go right on the flower. You don't have to leave a space around it. And the other thing you want to be cognizant of is this is kind of a shiny paper, and if depending on what marker you use, if you use a Posco or Posca, however you pronounce it, or another type of marker, and you want to, let's see here, you want to just remember not to get your hands over this because you could smudge it. You don't want to smudge it. Maybe that's why I turn my paper so much. I mean, I've never really thought about it. Just turning my paper is easier for me. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, I had to see why Daisy kept barking. Somebody's here helping my son with his car. Okay, we'll do this one here. And I'm going to just come right down like this. And I'm going to hit that right there. Okay. I don't want to leave any space there, and I don't want these two to touch. And you will develop your own style. As to how you want to trace around your items. When I don't talk, I'm concentrating. I should just shut up. Ha! All right, so we have that one. And is there another small one? There's only a big one. Let's see. I could do these small little ones. We'll do these, and then I'll do the large ones off camera. But I know some people like to watch others trace. And if you don't like it, you can just move forward. You can just skip forward. Just by tracing around these, I feel like I've drawn these myself. But I haven't. That would be cheating. I'm starting at the bottom and coming up so I can meet that one, all right? These look like little rabbit's ears. Don't they? They look like little tiny cute rabbit ears. Now, for me, what I do is when I have two here, I will do the left one first. I don't want to do the right one because, again, I don't want it smudged. So I'm going to do the left one over here first. And I'm instead of continuing down, I'm going to go up because I'll have a better eye to meet that. All right. And then we'll do this one. Okay, all right, I'm going to go cut these out. And then I'm also going to work on these here, and because I really want to show you what these larger ones look like as well. So y'all can go take a break and go have some fun. And then I'm going to work on this, and then I will be back and we will look at this new group of fodder. So I have it all cut out, and I hope you can see it okay. It's quite a few hours later, and it's night. It's late at night, and I just hope it shows up okay with my lights. But I just think this is so cute, and I just love all of the images and the colors on these in this book. They're just such a pretty soft color on all of them, and there's a lot of them just a hint of color. Here's the little drops, the snow drops that look like, they remind me of little bunny ears. That was one from before. And then we have a crocus, and then we have these pretty blue ones. This is the one that I thought would be really pretty as to frame maybe a 4x6 or a 3x5 photo. But this just has just a little tiny bit of color in there. And then here's that really pretty daffodil. Here's another daffodil. That is the one that I traced with you. Another little bit of the blue from before. This one here, isn't that pretty? They're just so soft in color. Very, very pretty. I love this book. I just think they're all very, very, very cute. And they're going to look wonderful on my scrapbook pages with photos. And I'll have to show you how I'm going to work with these. And then I have this one here. And then here's the little bunny ear. And I still have quite a few in this really wonderful book here to cut out. But I wanted to show you these. It's just another style of fodder. I know we did the Daphne's Diary before, but I just think that these are wonderful flowers. So, I'd love to have you go through your books at home that you might have. Next time you go to a library book sale, take a look for something such as this. And again, you don't have to have a lot of flowers in a book. You saw in this book here, they were sporadic throughout, but they're all quite lovely. And these are going to just be so much fun to work with and to create. So that is it. Just another little different style of floral fodder that you can create at home with maybe a book that you have that you hadn't thought about doing this. And that is it. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining me. This can be very, very addicting. So if you are into junk journaling or your art books, mixed media, scrapbooking, whatever it may be, please keep this in mind, because I think it's just a wonderful way to get some fabulous images to work with on any of your projects. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful day. Hugs and blessings, and I will see you in my next video. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.